We left Key West today with plans to anchor at Marathon, followed by Biscayne Key, but a generator problem and an exploding battery forced us to cruise through the night to Fort Lauderdale.
One look in your eyes and I find it. When you leave in my mind I rewind it. When you got it this good, you don't fight it.
After 2 incredible weeks in Key West, the time has come to end our stay. Next stop, the anchorage at Marathon Key.
See you later, Key West. Till next year. Well, of course, we're going to anchor out 3 days in a row, and the generator stops working. Sort of the thing's possessed. We're not getting power. So, we're playing with that and trying to rig it. And so far, no success.
What's it doing?
Just jumping between 0 and 75. It's pulsating.
Okay, well, we are making an unexpected overnight run to Fort Lauderdale. We're currently in Marathon. We were anchored out. We left Key West earlier this morning, and we had a bit of an issue when we were getting ready to leave. I went to start the engine, starboard, or port started fine. I went to start the starboard, and the battery was weak, which was odd. I don't know what could have possibly been left on, or I'm just not sure. So we had the ability to parallel our batteries, so I could send both batteries over to this starboard engine, and I did that, and it started. Shortly after it started, I heard a popping sound, and I turned the engines off real quick, and I went down to investigate. Couldn't find anything wrong in the engine rooms at all. So we looked in the generator room, and Lynn noticed what looked like a puff of smoke in the generator room. So I went down in the generator room trying to figure out what was wrong, and I just couldn't find anything. The generator wasn't on, and the only thing else really down there are our battery banks. And I couldn't see anything wrong with the battery banks. I thought, well, maybe something, I don't know, fell and landed on one of the terminals and caused the arc or something. I don't know. We never figured it out. We started the engines back up, and we cruised on down Hawks Channel to Marathon to anchor out. When we got here to anchor out, I went to go turn the generator on, and the generator's running perfectly fine for about 10 minutes, and then it stops producing electricity, which that's happened occasionally. Usually I can adjust the governor. It's usually something I can adjust. I could not get the generator to produce electricity. And we thought, well, that's a bummer. So we're going to be out here anchored out in Marathon without air conditioning tonight, but whatever, we'll live. However, in the process of not getting it to run, it occurred to me that without it, there's nothing charging my battery banks, my regular house and starting battery banks overnight. And since I had a problem starting this morning, that made me concerned. I checked the voltage on the batteries, and both of them were very low. And I had just come off a run. The alternators were running the whole time. And I look at them and I can see they're charging. So something was draining the batteries, and just fortunately I noticed it. And we decided then and there, it's like, if the batteries are this weak, we can't test this overnight, or we can't stay overnight and hope they're going to start our boat in the morning. I figured we got to start it right now because we don't have a generator to charge the batteries. So we went to do that and just barely got the engine started. I had to parallel both sets of batteries to both engines and just barely got them started. So it's a really good thing that we did that. Anyway, that means that until I get the generator running properly, we need to be at marinas. We cannot be anchored out. And I have to figure out what's draining these batteries as well. And the only way I can really do that is if I'm in a marina. So it's 6:30 here at Marathon. All the marinas are closed. And there's really nothing for us between here and Fort Lauderdale. So we decided we're going to do an overnight run, just Lynn and I. We're heading out to Hawks Channel again right now. We're going to do I think it's going to be about a 12-hour run, something like that, down to Las Olas Marina. And when we get there, I suppose it's going to be 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I'm hoping they'll have a slip course, they usually do, and we'll pull in there, get the batteries and everything charged, figure out what our short problem is, and figure out why our generator's not working. But at least we'll be safe and secure in a marina. We won't be stranded in an anchorage.
I hope we're not stranded in the ocean.
Yeah, well, it runs fine. It's just, I don't know. Our batteries are getting old. I was talking about replacing them this year anyway, but I don't think that's it. If possible, one of them might have shorted, and now that's draining it, because I can see my alternators are producing. Right now I'm producing 40 volts on each one. That's plenty to charge these batteries, so they should not have been drained like that. But, well, we'll figure it out. Meantime, we're going to run unexpectedly overnight, which is kind of a pain because we weren't prepared for it.
We weren't slept well.
We didn't sleep all day, or so we're not psyched for it. We're ready to relax, call it an early night, and now we're calling it a not early at all night. We're going to call it not a night at all.
We're going to call it a late morning.
Yeah, call it a late morning. So anyway, that's it. We'll check in along the way, I'm sure, and see you in the morning. So I should mention as well that I do have an emergency backup plan in case double failure like this. The second redundancy is that I kept 3 12-volt batteries on board. One that runs the tender, one that runs the starts up the generator, and then I have an emergency spare 12-volt. I also have 2 12-volt lithiums as well, but I could take the 3 12-volt batteries, wire them in series, creating a 36-volt battery, and use that to start an engine. Now that's the very fallback position, and I did not want to have to take the chance on having to put that together tomorrow morning. So again, that's why we're leaving. I think we're going to be making the right decision, just doing an overnight run and getting ourselves someplace nice and safe and figure out these problems. It is 12 o'clock at night. We are in Hawk Channel, just off of Rodriguez Key. We are heading to Fort Lauderdale, as we mentioned earlier. I was able to get the generator to work. It was just a matter of fooling around with the governor a little bit and get it set, I guess, a little closer to where it wanted it, and then it's been working. We've been running it the whole time. We decided not to anchor out anyway. First of all, we had already left a good anchorage. The next good one was, well, Rodriguez Key, unless we cut over to the other side, and we didn't want to do that in the dark. So we decided, forget it. We'll just let the generator run. We have air conditioning, we have cooking, we have whatever we want.
Run all night.
And we're going to run all night. We're going to go down to Fort Lauderdale. We'll probably get there around 7, 8 in the morning, a little before the marina's open. So we'll probably slow down as we get closer. But anyway, it's a beautiful night. No moon. Milky Way's running right over top of us. And so far we have not passed a single boat.
Well, a couple. They were way.
Oh well, they were way away. I mean, nothing's come close to us. So anyway, we're gonna make some coffee and try and stay up for the rest of the night. Roger out.
Roger out.
We changed our plans a little bit. Instead of going all the way to Fort Lauderdale, we decided to stop in Biscayne Bay and drop an anchor. The generator's been running fine the whole time, and we figure we're going to get to Fort Lauderdale too early unless we really slow down. We're both exhausted. We've been on the water now since 11 o'clock yesterday morning.
Since Key West.
Yeah, so we just figured we'll do this. We'll catch a couple hours sleep, get up. We're going to leave the generator running the whole time, and then so it's charging the batteries. I also disabled anything that has to do with the batteries on the boat, so there should be nothing to drain it. Well, we'll see how it works out, but tomorrow morning, tomorrow, probably late morning, we'll get up.
In a couple hours.
Yeah, a couple hours. We're going to go to Fort Lauderdale and see if we can grab a slip of Las Olas so I can kind of really make sure I get everything in order before we head out further. So.
And one of the reasons you picked this spot is because you're familiar.
Yeah, I know this spot. I can get in the dark. You know, I've done this so many times. So, you know, it's pitch black out now. It's about 4:30 in the morning still. And it's good hold. We don't have to worry about it. There was room. There's a lot of anchorage here. There's about 7, 8 other boats, but there's plenty of room.
Yeah.
So we should be good for the night. We're gonna try and catch some Z's.
Yep. Roger out. I mean, really out. Yeah, this is the beautiful morning view to have coffee. Outside No Name Harbor, where the stilt houses are. Making a buzz sound.
I suppose I could just try and turn the engines on. I mean, we're not ready yet, but try and turn the batteries seem to be having a good charge.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Well, we are leaving Biscayne Bay, where we just anchored out. Lynn is busy here plotting our course to Las Olas, where we are going to spend probably 2 nights. I booked it. I called ahead now since it's morning and they're open. And I booked 2 nights thinking that we may need an extra day in case we need some parts or something like that, or we might provision. We'll see. Fort Lauderdale's always nice. Can't hurt to spend 2 days there. It's only a 3 or 4 hour run from here, and we'll get there probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We are very happy to have had a couple of hours sleep, 5 in total, and that was just enough to get us back into
ready to go mode.
Ready to go mode.
Ready to go mode.
This thing's trying to look at me and it doesn't want to look at Lynn. Okay.
That's all right. I look
Okay.
terrible.
Anyway, we're going cutting out now into the ocean again, passing the stilt houses back there, and well, we'll check in along the way.
Look what Ed made for dinner. Seaweed salad. Where'd you get this seaweed salad?
Yeah, unfortunately the Keys has a lot of seaweed in it. I don't know if it's the time of year or just this year in general, but we picked up a bunch of seaweed on our crops. We had to reverse off a couple of times. And the air conditioners all stopped at once, which to me means strainers clogged. So I just had to climb under a hot engine and clean that stuff out of the strainer. This is the only cure for what ails me after doing that.
So, I'm not sure if we told you guys about the pop sound that we heard when we started the engines one time, but Ed just found out what it is. Check that out. Yeah, incredible. See? It's a hole. So it kind of shorted, I guess exploded. That's the big pop. So now we're on a quest here in Fort Lauderdale to find batteries to replace this. Unbelievable, isn't it? This can happen. This happens to be the one that we were short distilled water in. And we were just waiting to get to Fort Lauderdale to get distilled water. We didn't want to put regular water in it. But I guess we should have, because I don't know. But, all right. So how's it feel not driving for a while?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I drove a car. I think, geez, I don't know. I guess it's been 2.5 months since I drove a car.
Well, don't screw it up. Yeah, there's bottles of wine. Why would it spark?
Now that the battery situation is all straightened out, we take advantage of having a car and drive down to Dania Beach for dinner, and then Riverwalk for cocktails.